Greetings, and welcome back to the 8th and final episode of the search for clutch powers. This is a long one, so buckle in for the most intense, epic, dramatic, and possibly romantic episode of any podcast ever! I really need to stop laughing so much. It's very straining on my vocal cords. But anyways, please enjoy the series finale of the best podcast ever. I do hope you find it entertaining. Also, as a side note, do any of you guys find it somewhat contrived that when the writers want the scene to sound ominous, they replace things the hero normally does with me doing them? I don't know. Maybe I've been a little bit too self-conscious recently, and my therapist, evil therapist, suggested that I vent more often to help others latch on to my own feelings. Anyways, back to the episode.
It was dark. Like, really dark. Like, so dark I even feel as if most paranormal entities would be dissuaded to go about their regular paranormal activities. It was so dark that I actually lost my mind. It was so dark that I was able to find my mind again. Yay. But then, I couldn't find the correct brain screws. But then, it was so dark that I was able to purchase the correct brain screws back. Anyways, it was the kind of dark that was meant to be interrupted by a harsh light dramatically flashing on. Just as I predicted.
Greetings, Jon. How have you been? I can tell you are about to be positively miserable.
Cool, McRaddington. Where am I? And why am I strapped to a white, medium, high-grade quality lawn chair? And what have you done with Chester? He's not here, and I know he isn't at Long John Silver's because their ominous lair branch shut down last month.
Oh, don't worry about that silly little lad. He's somewhere you'll never find him. The next room over.
Oh, not like trapped in some cage that's slowly being lowered into an active volcano or anything? Or maybe he's covered in slabs of raw meat, which he could normally enjoy, only to be thrown into a cage of piranhas, which he normally doesn't enjoy under most circumstances.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Jon, I have come here to let you know that you'll never win against me. As we speak, the very man you've been searching for all this time, Clutch Powers, for any listeners who might have forgotten, is currently being loaded into a super fast rocket ship and is scheduled to land on the moon in exactly 24 hours, all in order to allow me to enact my master plan.
Wait, you mean to tell me that Clutch Powers himself is going to be on the moon in 24 hours?
Indeed, Jon. Yes, indeed.
So, after all this time, I finally know where Clutch Powers is? I am a success!
But you'll never reach him before he gets destroyed.
Oh, I'm a failure.
The moon is on the other side of the Earth right now, and I've got it locked in a quantum stabilizer beam, so it'll never loop around to you here. I'll be leaving soon, by the way. Farewell, Jon. See you never. That's a little one I came up with on the spot. What did you think of it? I've been brainstorming evil ways to say goodbye, because farewell seems a little bit too pleasant. I am looking for a little constructive criticism here. Maybe we can do 2 things you liked, 1 thing you disliked? Tell me. Now, wait a second. What am I doing? I'm supposed to be enacting my evil plan right now. See you never, the moment's ruined.
No, Cool McRaddington, you'll never get away with this! No!
That's pretty crazy, huh, Jon?
Chester, you heard all that?
Yeah, these walls are actually, really thin. The kind of things I've heard, Jon, they can make any man go insane. They can make any man go insane. Anyways, that is a story for another time. Perhaps a sequel. Or perhaps a prequel? Or perhaps a present-quel? which is a sequel that takes place at the same time as the original story. But that's besides the point. You don't have to waste any time repeating what he said to me for the audience that might not have been fully paying attention.
Alright, anyways, Chester, now that we know where Clutch Powers is for certain, we have to get to him. We have to rescue Clutch Powers. The search for Clutch Powers has officially become the search to save Clutch Powers.
Agreed.
But now how do we get out of these lawn chairs? It's not like we're unimaginably powerful godlike beings or anything.
I actually already got out.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I kinda just spray painted the chair green, and that kind of caught the chair by surprise. It panicked and ran into a wall, only to explode. I was somewhat hurt, but luckily, I know basic first aid. It only took me a few minutes to fish all of the lawn chair shrapnel out of my eyes. But now look at me. Even though I'm behind a wall, I'm good as new, as if to imply that most people behind walls are not good as new. However, long story short, I got out.
Sweet. Maybe you can come free me now? Because then we might be able to catch Cool McRaddington before he gets to the chopper.
Well, how do you know he's getting to a chopper and not a bopper or a fropper?
Choppers are kind of a standard action movie thing, and getting to them is as well.
Oh, okay. Also, I'm here to free you now.
Excellent. Now, let's go get Cool McRaddington. It looks like we're in some sort of ominous lair, secret, labyrinthy base thingy full of twisting corridors and dimly lit rooms. Why can no one ever put their prisons next to the exit? This is mildly inconvenient.
Yeah, and judging by how these things usually tend to go, I'd say we have roughly 10.01 minutes to get to Cool McRaddington before he escapes on his chopper. But it actually has already been 0.01 minutes, so now we only have 10 minutes left.
Then we better get going. So we started running down the halls and actually found the exit in 3.26 seconds, so the whole labyrinthine base thingy was kind of unnecessary and useless. But you know what we were able to do while walking through this incredibly short and perplexing stupid labyrinth? We were able to catch up on this week's sponsor, The Search for Clutch Powers. The Search for Clutch Powers is an extremely crappy and stupid podcast. In fact, they are the worst podcast that has ever been created. Buying their non-existent merch would be the dumbest thing anyone could ever do. Even thinking about beginning to conceive listening to that podcast would be the single most idiotic, dim-witted, half-brained, numbskull thing any human could ever do. But they gave us a lot of money, so consider them sponsorified. Anyways, back to The Search for Clutch Powers.
We exited the ominous lair secret labyrinth base thingy, and when we got outside, we saw Cool McRaddington standing around awkwardly.
Ugh, my socks are too loose. Wait, Jon and Chester? How did you escape my crappy labyrinth?
Cool McRaddington will never let you get to the chopper.
Well, the chopper isn't actually here yet, so we still have 9 minutes to spare.
Oh, okay. Wanna play some Uno then?
Sure, why not? Uno is, after all, a universally relatable game that can even bridge the gap between hero and villain.
Red 3.
Red 5.
+4, switch to yellow.
God damn it. Yellow 2.
Blue 2.
Purple 13.
No, Cool McRaddington, Purple 13 isn't a card you can play.
Well, how was I supposed to know that?
Guys, chillax. Let's just play the game.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, sure.
Alright. Go fish!
Gone!
Now that's what I call a Yahtzee.
Oh hey, the chopper's here!
Finally! Now we can actually progress the plot, dude, jeez.
Yeah, alright. Cool McRaddington will never let you get to the chopper.
You're too late, Jon and Chester. I'm already on it.
Whoa! He teleported! I wasn't even aware he could do that!
No, Chester, you were just too busy playing Long John Silver Simulator on your Long John Silver's officially licensed portable gaming console to notice that he's slowly walking to the chopper.
Yeah, well, addiction's a disease, okay? And what does it even matter? He's already at the chopper anyways!
That's right. And now that I am on it, you'll never be able to get to Clutch Powers in time before I enact my master plan.
Wait, how are you talking to us over what would be unbearably loud chopper noises?
I installed a chopper silencer on the chopper.
Of course.
Also, might I ask, what is your master plan?
Why, yes, Chester. That is a very good question indeed. I am going to bring clutch powers to the moon and... You know what? Actually, I'll just let you guys, as well as the listeners, ponder till about halfway through the episode, when the tension drastically increases.
No, not the tension.
Yes, the tension. Anywho, I must be off to be evil and such. Hasta la vista, Jon and Chester.
No! Come on, do that.
Oh yeah, I am upset.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
no,
upset. You know, no. Oh, that was good. We were
Yeah,
synchronized.
that was actually pretty. That's pretty crazy.
Oh wait, he's getting away.
No!
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 No! No, that one was even better.
Yeah, that
Oh
was-
wait, he's still getting away.
No! That was the
Perfect.
best one yet.
Perfect.
Dude, that was really
Perfection.
good. Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
we got
Okay,
it.
do the next. Okay, yeah.
Wait, no, he has gotten away. This is more of a travesty than most of the wars.
I know he did get away. It's not like this happens in the movies or anything.
We can't lose hope now, Chester. We know where we need to go. We just have to get to the exact other side of the world within the next 24 hours if we want to save Clutch Powers.
You're right. This will be our longest journey yet. Our most difficult challenge with the highest stakes ever.
It is time to begin the search to rescue Clutch Powers, which is in fact much different than the search to save Clutch Powers, because save implies a situation that may or may not have already started, while rescue implies that the situation is in full effect.
The search to save Clutch Powers. Final episode.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That was just the beginning of the episode. You thought that was the episode? You thought that was part of the final episode? No. That was just the intro before, like, the little title, like the thing. Just, like, imagine there was, like a thing that was like, the search for Clutch Powers, that's great. That would have been really awesome. But it's a podcast, so can't really see anything on the screen, can you? Yeah. Anyways, let's go. Let's keep moving. Come on. Move on. Come on.
Okay, let's go!
But before we could fully go, we were stopped in our tracks by a person. A person so awesome, so bodacious, so totally tubular that we almost couldn't handle it. This person was Dan the Man.
Hello, my name is Daniel, but I go by Dan. And throughout the course of my life, I have been referred to as Dan the Man. Therefore, I go by Dan the Man, because I am a man, and I also go by Dan for short. Seeing as my name is Daniel, the shortening of my name is actually a fairly common convention in the English lexicon.
Hello, Dan the Man. What do you need from us?
Dan the Man would like to ask you two if you would like to obtain some iced cream with Dan the Man.
Buddy, we're kind of busy right now, Dan the Man. Also, why are you talking like that?
Dan the Man talks about himself in the third person. Dan the Man loves his name that much.
Okay, Dan. Okay, yeah, it's cool, Dan the Man. We can definitely get some iced cream later, alright?
But we kind of gotta go right now, so...
Yeah, okay, we
yeah.
gotta go. Let's
Yeah, bye.
see you later.
Yeah, bye, Dan the Man.
Bye, Dan the Man.
Bye, Dan the Man.
Later, see ya.
Dan the Man is in an unfortunate predicament. Nobody wishes to obtain iced cream with Dan the Man.
Is he gone?
Yeah, I think so. Kinda needy if you ask me. Oh, and it looks like he just exploded. I'm sure he's fine, though.
Oh, cool. Anyways,
Right, so after the Dan the Man fiasco, whatever year it is, we rented a celery car from the Lamborghini depository for $0.004 a day. By the way, a celery car is made of exactly what it sounds like. It's a car made of celery. It looks like celery, smells like celery, feels like celery, tastes like celery. It even emits harmful chemicals and greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, like celery. How whimsical.
we traveled for about 72/68 of a mile before we realized that a celery car would never actually work in real life. And once we stopped believing in the celery's magic, it spontaneously combusted, sending us 42 times what we would have been able to travel with the car. How convenient.
We were now about 1/874th of the way to the other side of the world, but we only had 19 hours left. Oh no.
Ugh, we'll never make it in time.
Don't give up yet, Chester. Maybe that decrepit old house obscured in an eerie mist in the middle of a graveyard for some reason can help us.
You mean the one covered in signs that say things like, beware, residence is haunted, and stay away or the quality of your podcast will severely decrease, I guarantee it?
Yeah, that one.
You mean the one with weird tentacles and zombies and similar Lovecraftian/undead horrors behind it?
Yeah, although those are most likely not a metric of being presumably not haunted.
Sounds good. Let's go.
After we opened the overly creaky door and stepped onto the overly creaky floor, which stirred up so much dust that we had to wait outside for half an hour for the mini dust storm inside the house to clear, we entered the mansion.
But when we finally stepped inside, the place wasn't actually all that spooky. In fact, it was so not spooky that I would even consider it well lit and nicely furnished.
And it was so well lit and nicely furnished that in the middle of the room, there was a British chap sitting in the middle of the room and drinking tea.
Why, I do say there. Hello, Bloke 1 and Bloke 2.
How you doing, fancy British chap? Although I've never actually met you before, I feel compelled to act as though we share a deeply personal bond.
Well, I do happen to appear to be sipping on my tea, and you two jammies just so happen to have wandered by, just as I was about to read the British news.
And how exactly is the British news different from regular news?
It's British. And also, there is significantly more stabbing and tea-based news.
Cool. Say, fancy British chap, do you think I could get a sip of that tea? I love me some nasty leaf water.
Don't worry, this doesn't actually reflect my personal thoughts on tea.
Well, I do suppose I could pour you a right proper tasty cup of tea.
Nice. What is this? This isn't Long John Silver's brand Senator Silver tea.
Well, of course not, you wanker. It's a finely aged 1976 black Earl Grey oolong with jasmine hibiscus seasoning, heated to exactly 37.6 degrees Celsius.
You fancy British chaps and your fancy British teas. Anywho, where could a guy like me find a faster way to get to the other side of the world? I'm assuming that you have knowledge based on your double monocle.
Well, British legend has it that inside the attic of this very house lies the key to the fastest means of transportation ever. But I say it's nothing but a pile of tosh.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's go.
But I must warn you two blokes, to get through these dangerous halls will be a right proper kerfuffle. Well, okay, allow me to tell you about the dangerousness of this mansion. It's very scary, you see. There's lots of interesting foreign objects that can put curses and hexes on you, and it's very dangerous. You must heed my warning. I tell you, you must heed my warning. Yes, heed it. I tell
cool.
you.
What are you saying?
Heed.
I don't give a crap. Didn't ask.
You did
Must
not
be okay. We must be able to find the
know.
key for
It
the
is
fast
also
transportation or whatever.
pronounced
I gotta go. Okay, wait. What are you
Isn't
saying?
that
I
awesome?
don't really
It's
care.
spelled the
Okay,
same
I
way
gotta
it's
pee, John. All right, so let's
pronounced. Isn't that
let's just keep
so
going. We
It is
gotta.
very
Okay,
dangerous.
okay.
You
See ya.
must heed my warning. And that is why it will be unimaginably dangerous to continue. Oh, they're gone. Well, I think they're having a laugh.
I wonder what fancy British chap was trying to warn us about.
Probably nothing important.
Then all of a sudden, a human-sized piece of stale bread covered in a big steamy pile of warm beans jumped out at us.
Oh my god! British culinary foods jump scare!
Thankfully for this particular set of circumstances, but unfortunately in the big picture, I'm 1/46th British, so I was able to resist the monstrosity's revolting aura, and I blasted the bean toast with a heat ray and it exploded, sending bean bits all over the place.
Whew! Never thought I would say this, but I've been saved by the British.
After those shenanigans, we made our way to the attic entrance. It was sufficiently spooky enough to be worthy of the title, Spookalicious.
Once we entered the attic, there was an old chest in the center of the room.
The chest had a keyhole in it, but I didn't feel like searching for a key, so a robot laser ninja karate kick chopped it straight in half.
Inside the chest was a VHS tape. However, we didn't have a VHS player to play the tape, and the VHS tape was also haunted. Probably most likely, if I had to guess.
So we front flipped out the window and landed a couple dozen feet away from a convenience store. We entered said convenience store, and when we got inside, we saw nothing but VHS players. Turns out, the so-called convenience store was actually a VHS player store. How very convenient.
We went straight up to the front desk worker and demanded to see his manager.
I don't have a I don't have a manager. I'm my own boss. My name's Carl. The front desk worker, by the way.
Carl, the front desk worker.
Okay. We need a VHS player ASAP.
Oh, well, you've come to the right place. This is literally all that we sell.
Carl, the front desk worker.
We need a very specific VHS player. One that will play a haunted, probably most likely, if I had to guess, VHS tape.
Yeah, we got that. Yeah, here you go.
Carl, the front desk worker.
Oh, sweet.
That'll be $70 trillion.
Carl, the front desk worker.
Only 70 trillion? That's a steal for sure.
And it's partially broken.
Carl, the front desk worker.
It's partially broken too? Dude, this is one insane bargain.
Thank you for your purchase.
Carl, the front desk worker.
No problemo, Carl, the front desk worker.
We exited the convenient VHS player store, disguised as a convenience store, and we set up the VHS tape on the ground next to the VHS player.
What does VHS even stand for?
Virtual hot sauce, obviously.
Oh, so that's why these things always get spicy when I eat them.
After I briefly educated John, the apparent dumbass who doesn't know what VHS stands for, I put the VHS tape in the VHS player, and the tape began to play.
Do you need good food? Then come on down to Long John Silver's.
Ugh, it's an ad for Long John Silver's. I'm skipping.
No. I need to hear this valuable information.
No, Chester, we're on a mission to save Clutch Powers here.
Fine, but I'm listening to it later, okay?
I hope everybody listening to this enjoyed the Long John Silver's advertisement.
I didn't.
I did enjoy it. Oh my god, I did.
But the delicious food at Long John Silver's is not what you're here for. You're here to learn the fastest means of transportation ever. This way of traveling is so fast, I'd say you'd be able to travel to the other side of the world in about 0.03 seconds tops. But enough waiting around. The single key aspect of this fast travel method, the one thing you need to hear, the singular thing that you must know in order to be able to travel at ridiculously high speeds, is...
I think we all remember the day we realized that 2010 animated Lego spy thriller Clutch Powers was absent from our lives. Wait, what? The one part of the recording we needed to hear has been taped over with the first episode of The Search for Clutch Powers?
I knew that podcast was terrible.
That's it. Consider them unsponsorized.
What do we do now?
Well, if I'm correct, which I almost always am part of the half of the time, and if I knew how VHS tapes work, which I definitely do not, in order to tape something over an existing tape, you have to remove the part you're taping over and store it somewhere else.
That means that the people who recorded The Search for Clutch Powers must still have the original tape.
Exactly. Let's go back and get it. And so we set off for the Search for Clutch Powers recording studio. After a few hours of traveling, we found the studio. Turns out it was in some random town in California in some random house's backyard. We entered the studio and confronted the employees.
What if we have them, go inside, a haunted mansion?
Oh, good. Real Jon and Chester, we have come to get our tape back. Whoa, who are you?
We're Jon and Chester. No, that's actually us. Sorry to break it to you.
No, we're Jon and Chester from the podcast.
Why are you guys here?
We need the original tape of that VHS tape about the fastest method of transportation ever. Why did you guys even tape over it in the first place? To reach a larger audience and promote the podcast, obviously.
And you decided to put the episode on a VHS tape in a locked chest inside the attic of a haunted mansion? Well, we don't really have a big studio budget, alright?
Okay, whatever. You guys can't even afford proper marketing, and we can't get to Clutch Powers. We're all in a bit of a predicament here. How about you give us the original tape, and we can give you a bit of money for your podcast, seeing as we always seem to have enough money for everything.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, me too. Alright, here you go. $3.
$3? That's more money than we've ever had! Here's the tape you need, bro. Thanks for stopping by. No problem. Real me, I guess? See you later, podcast me.
Adios, real me. Bye, podcast me. Also, I'm your dad. Sick.
What a couple of dumbasses.
They are so stupid, and you cannot change my mind.
Well, at least we got the tape.
Yeah, let's play it now.
The singular thing that you must know in order to be able to travel at ridiculously high speeds is... you just gotta run.
Why didn't I think of that?
Of course, it's so obvious. You just gotta run, duh.
Well, I supposed we should get going, and so we started running, and then stopped because we got sort of tired.
I'm very tired.
We only got halfway around the world, and I don't think we're going to be able to run again for at least a few decades. And now, we only have 13 hours to get to the other side of the world.
Darn, this completely is disadvantageous to our plans.
Hey, Jon and Chester.
Wait, who's this?
Are you f***ing kidding me, Chester? It's internationally acclaimed movie star Larry!
Yes, it is he.
What do you want, Larry?
Well, you see, I'm the warden of people who travel across the world, and I personally vet everyone who attempts to do so.
Can you approve us then?
Well, first, you have to do something for me.
Yay, another random task. For a penultimate finale, this episode sure has a lot of filler.
As you both know, I'm a famous actor, and I've starred in the likes of Vampires in Ohio and Vampires in Ohio 2, Too Many Vampires. I wish to form a legacy and pass this acting tradition to my son.
That sounds like more of a you problem.
I know, and trust me, I've tried everything, but my son is such a boring dumbass that nothing I try works. Oh, by the way, say hi, Bruce.
Salutations. Did you know that water is actually H2O?
Bruce, why would they care about such a stupidly obscure fact? Anyways, as you can see, my son f***ing sucks. I'll give you 20 minutes to make him an actor, and if you succeed, I'll let you travel to the other side of the world. If you fail, however, I'll give you a bowl of soup.
Well, that doesn't sound so bad.
The soup is slightly too hot to eat.
The horror.
So Larry immediately ran off to the movie set of Vampires in Ohio 3. Scary vampires. These names are actively getting worse.
Hello, my friends. Do you want to build a model train with me?
No, Bruce. We don't have time to be boring with you. Okay, what's your favorite TV show?
Well, Home Depot has a live stream of their YouTube channel showing off the various types of wooden paneling. The story is great, but the nature documentary scenes give me a little bit of scaries. Overall, I would give it 9 out of 10.
Okay, but what is your favorite show about people?
Oh well, there is this great game show where various people have to guess whether a green vegetable shown on the screen is a cucumber or zucchini.
Well, what is your favorite TV show with real people that's also scripted?
Well, there is a great musical biopic on the Roku channel about a middle-aged man who accidentally invented room temperature milk in his garage. It is called Human Aspiration.
What's the main character's name in this biopic?
Dr. Dean Milk, of course.
Well, you know that Dr. Dean Milk is played by an actor, right?
Yes, his name is Marv Malk.
Well, do you want to be like Marv Melk? Milk? Mulk?
Not in particular. He was convicted of multiple drug charges in first-degree murder.
This kid is tough, but I know there's an inner actor inside of him somewhere.
I know. It's killing me. Almost like how Marv Milk kills people. But how can we find a way to make him show his true colors?
Oh, man.
What is it, buddy?
They have this great book of poetry at Bevmo that I really wanted, but it's going to be out of stock for a while. It is called 567 Poems About Leaves. Doesn't that premise sound so original?
Well, wouldn't it be nice if there was a way you could be the first person to receive the book?
Yes. Is that possible?
Well, if you were a famous actor, you would get to be the first to read the poems if you asked.
Of course. I really want to be an actor now.
We did it, and just in time. It looks like Larry's back now.
Hey, Bruce.
Salutations, father. I wish to be an actor.
Oh my god, this is everything I could have ever wanted. Anyways, Jon and Chester, you may pass to the other side of the world now.
We started running again, and just like that, we are on the other side of the world. Oh look, there's Cool McRaddington.
Hey, Cool McRaddington. Looks like you aren't that today. Cool.
But why? It's in my name.
Well, because like we're here to stop you now?
Did you really not take into account that might have been exactly what I wanted?
Say what?
Secondary say what? For further dramatic effect?
So anyways, I just have to blow this sketchy fainting powder I bought off of this guy calling himself Rich Ricky in a California suburb, and you will be knocked out. Then I will tie both of your unconscious bodies to the rocket ship, thus ending your search to save Clutch Powers, and finishing my search to destroy Clutch Powers.
What was the evil laugh like really necessary?
No, but it sounds pretty cool.
And then he did exactly what he said he was going to do. Like, literally exactly word for word. His plan just, exactly went as he previously stated. Me and Chester kind of just stood around and let it happen.
Anyways, it would now appear as if we are in some deep doo-doo.
To build tension, we will now cue in a song recorded by Jon and Chester 5 seconds ago. The song is about the Search for Clutch Powers podcast, and it has to do with the Search for Clutch Powers podcast. And it revolves around the Search for Clutch Powers podcast. We hope you enjoy.
You take some clutch. You take some powers. What do you get? Mother Clutch Powers.
Jon and Chester, bodacious dudes, kicking ass when they're in the mood.
Some stupid villains who think they are the
Jon and Chester know how to bring an end to it.
It's Jon and Chester, not Scott and Lester, doing it together, kicking ass forever. Try to stop them,
Get your ass kicked.
but you will never, ever, ever stop their friendship. It's Jon and Chester. Clutch Powers,
Where have you gone?
are you in a hole or a moat?
I don't know.
It would be really cool if some people dedicated their time to finding him.
I think that's already been done.
Oh yeah, I forgot we already did that.
It was in a podcast.
Back to the podcast.
I woke up, and I didn't know where I was. Everything around me was pitch black, except for thousands of tiny dots of white light of some sort of star-like material around me, and a large dot of whitish-orange light of some sort of sun-like material, and a blue and green orb of some sort of earth-like material, and some sort of other...
They get it, Chester. We're in space.
Thanks for ruining the big reveal, Jon. Also, wait a second. Is that a big ol' hunk of gray rock?
The big ol' hunk of gray rock that looks suspiciously like the moon?
And it's getting closer?
I don't have my reading glasses on, but I would say so.
Hold on. It appears it is much closer now.
And now it appears that we have landed.
And now it appears we have disembarked the vessel on which we were being held.
All right, it's official. We're the first podcasters to ever set foot on the moon. This calls for celebration.
I wonder if there's a Long John Silver's up here.
There are, in fact, many. but you will never be able to find them because you will be dead.
Cool McRaddington
again. The biological father of Clutch Powers, in case people forgot about the backstory?
Yes, I am on the moon as well, with no spacesuit on, and yes, it is quite nippy. But that's besides the point. Now that you two have found your way onto the lunar surface, my master plan can finally begin.
And what exactly is this evil plan?
Well, I bet it isn't any good, because I have a suspiciously suspicious feeling that you've been planning this for the entire series.
Well, since you two rapscallywags ask, I plan to destroy the moon.
I don't care.
Yeah, like, who even needs stupid f***ing tides anyway, honestly?
With you and Clutch Powers on it.
Oh, that's bad.
Real bad.
Well, this sure sounds like a conundrum, doesn't it? But before we talk about this small, inconsequential moment of the podcast, I have to add some thoughts about a strange encounter that happened. I was standing there, on the moon, horrified by the plan that Cool McRaddington had just divulged, when a cool little spaceman walked up to me, got really close, and whispered gently in my ear,
This week's secondary sponsor is NASA.
I replied, 2 sponsorships in an episode? We are really making it. Anyways, NASA is this space organization thing that we here at the Search for Clutch Powers are in an unofficial association with. I wonder why a global power like NASA might be interested in letting people know about Clutch Powers. It's probably not important. Anyways, while we are still affiliated with NASA, if anyone at NASA is listening, please respond to my 30,000 messages so we can make this association official. Buy NASA today for $9.99 or something, I don't know. Back to the podcast.
Wait, does that mean Clutch Powers is here?
Why, of course he is, Chester. My little Scringulus. Come out when you are ready, Clutch Powers.
And then, from behind a conveniently placed moon bush, walked out Clutch Powers himself. Gagged and bound with seafoam green zip ties so that he couldn't escape.
Oh my god, Clutch Powers? This might be a bad time to ask, but can you sign my Clutch Powers themed oboe I just hand sculpted?
Oh, he won't have any time to sign anything at all, and you won't have any time to get anything signed at all, because you will both be exuberantly dead when I blow up the moon!
Why do you even want to blow up the moon?
Because I am evil, Chester, and blowing up the moon is something evil people do. Come on, this should be an obvious thing.
Makes sense, but you have taken one thing for granted, and that is the fact that we're about to kick your ass.
Oh, it won't just be my ass you are pitifully attempting to kick. Come on out, boys.
Then from out behind 7 more conveniently placed moon bushes came every main villain in the series that Cool McRaddington ever recruited. Random Scottish Dude, Mark Zuckerberg, Ton Jacobs Poby, Chipotle Burrito, and Suspect Number 5. Even the villains that Cool McRaddington didn't recruit, like John Doe, Jean-Pierre, Zucchini Gollum, and Jesus were also there for some reason.
I don't know, sounds like a classic case of fan service to me.
We decided to let each villain introduce themselves to jog the audience's memory because there's no way people remember who the hell all these random-ass characters are.
It's me, John Doe, the guy from the first episode, if you'll remember. It is I, Jean-Pierre, the first person you guys actually fought. Ah, the memories.
Jon and Chester, I, random Scottish dude, shall make you pay for defeating all 10,000 of my fellow Scottish brethren.
Hey, bro. I shall defeat you, bro. I'm Mark Zuckerberg, by the way, bro. It's me, Ton Jacobs Poby. Me and my 600,000 used green plastic bendy straws.
Jon and Chester, it is I, the Zucchini Gollum. I have conflicting morals just being here, but alas, I must destroy you.
Hey, dum-dums. J-Dog is here to watch you idiots get pummeled by some buff people now.
Chipotle Burrito's here to probably not do anything.
Oh, hey Burrito Dad.
Oh, hi, John.
I'm suspect number 5, see? And I was in the last episode, so I'm still relevant to the story, I think, but I'm here to bop, bump, clip, and pop your saps.
Okay, now that is out of the way, can we get to the fight scene already?
And get to the fight scene we did as all 9 villains closed in on us, as Cool McRaddington began the 10-minute countdown to blow up the moon, and the most epic final fight to ever take place ensued. To kickstart the fight, John Doe threw a bunch of white, low-quality lawn chairs at us, but we deflected it with even lower white-quality lawn chairs.
9 minutes until the moon explodes.
Jean-Pierre ripped off his shirt and dove into a triple-double bonsai, ultra-bultra, banana, mango, tango, superior, super reflex punch. But Chester zipped behind Jean-Pierre and did a mega crunch, quantum giga fire, golden potato, anime, western animation, feudal era, Japan phasing, earth kick, and deflected it.
8 minutes until the moon explodes.
After that, random Scottish dude jumped in with 3 really cool-looking ninja swords and performed a sword-swallowing act. Then, he proceeded to burp the swords out at us with lightning speeds. Luckily, I was able to pull out half of a really cool-looking ninja sword just in time and block his attack.
7 minutes until the moon explodes.
But just as Chester blocked random Scottish dude's attack, Mark Zuckerberg jetpacked his way to me and launched me back with his patented John launcher.
I saw this happen to John and quickly patented my own Mark Zuckerberg launcher just in time to launch Mark Zuckerberg away.
6 minutes until the moon explodes.
After that, the infamous Miracle Man, Tanjay Kospabi, miraculously phased into existence in front of me. I would tell you what happened next, but it was so incredibly boring that we decided to remove it from the podcast.
5 minutes until the moon explodes.
Just after we got out of narrating a fight section with Tanjay Kospabi, his precious henchman, the Zucchini Golem, zooped into existence right in front of me. He started talking about his tragic backstory as an accursed zucchini collector or something, but I didn't really care. So I just sprayed him with some salt and he turned into a lovely alternative to pickles.
4 minutes until the moon explodes.
Then Jesus showed up with his angel posse and started roasting us. I didn't really feel like being roasted today, so I wrote my own song to roast Jesus back. Here's a 10-second sample of my roast so you can get the feel of how roastful it was. Jesus, you are dumb. Jesus is so dumb. He is really stupid and he can't even defend himself from a giant wooden cross. Wood can't fight back, you dingus. Then Jesus ran away because he couldn't handle the roastitude.
3 minutes until the moon explodes.
Then, Chipotle Burrito jumped in front of me. I told him that seeing as the last time he tried to fight us, he ended up falling apart before the fight even started, it would be a relatively bad idea to fight us again. He agreed and started to walk away, but as he started to walk away, all of his ingredients fell out of him anyways.
2 minutes until the moon explodes.
I had just witnessed my burrito dad fall apart for the second time, which will most likely cause unbearable trauma that will take years to work through with my therapist. But that sounds like a later me problem, because suspect number 5, the gat-wielding goon of a gangster, began to shoot at me with his old-fashioned 7-round pistol. It took out my high-tech semi-automatic 300-round sniper rifle and shot his gun out of his hands. I can't believe we didn't just use modern guns when we fought him for the first time. We were such goofs.
1 minute until the moon explodes.
Wait a second. Is that it? We just defeated all 9 villains here. There's nobody left.
Forgetting someone?
Cool McRaddington, we were fighting the other villains for so long, we only have roughly 30 seconds until the moon explodes.
Since I assume Cool McRaddington will be the last person we fight in the series as a whole, do you think it would be a good idea to form the ultimate being Chon?
No, Chester, we can't just rely on Chon for everything. I say we win this final battle for ourselves with integrity.
If you say so, but some Chon action would be pretty cool.
Integrity!
Whatever.
If you two buffoons are done, I have to fully explain my intentions with a long monologue and sad backstory.
Ugh, do we have to? That stuff's boring.
Yes, it is for character development, you stupid little man.
Fine, go ahead.
Long ago.
I have to use the bathroom.
No, John, you're just going to have to hold it.
Too late.
Anybody else need anything?
I do. I was in the first episode, if you'll remember.
Yes, I remember. I'm just going to start G's. It all started long ago. It was just after my baby boy, now known as Clutch Powers, was born. I had just signed the baby paperwork, which, by the way, is paperwork for babies, when I received terrible, terrible news. My wife, Coolette McRaddington, had just left me for the physical manifestation of my alter ego, Rad McCoolington. I couldn't handle the responsibilities of being a father on my own, since I was working precisely 736 odd jobs at the time, so I had to give my boy up for adoption.
In a random alleyway?
I was a little stupid back then.
Well, that's all sad and crap, and even though I still want to destroy you, the dumb morals of the stupid podcast audience probably want us to forgive you, so consider yourself a redeemed.
Whoa, wait, what? That still doesn't explain why you want to destroy Clutch Powers now, though.
Yeah, that doesn't add up, mister.
Well, you see, Jon and Chester, I want to destroy Clutch Powers because I am jealous of his fame, of his coolness, his radness, if you will, his clutchness, his powerness.
Aw, Cool McRaddington. Cool McRaddington, you don't have to be jealous of his godlike awesomeness. You're somewhat as cool as him.
Yeah, you don't have to blow up the moon and obliterate your only son just to feel better about yourself.
You know what? You're right. I have now been converted to the hero side after an extremely minimal amount of convincing.
Just like in real life.
I'm glad this happened when it did. I can't believe it only took 8 episodes. I thought it was going to be at least like 10.
Yes, that's all. Wait a second. Didn't I set a countdown to blow up the entire moon in 10 minutes, roughly 10 minutes ago?
You did?
I think so.
Oh, fuck. What happened?
I don't know. I think the moon blew up or something.
Oh, right. Oh, look. We're now back on Earth. How convenient.
But I feel like we're forgetting something important.
Cool
McRaddington and Clutch Powers! Cool McRaddington? Oh, it's fine. He's just sleeping.
What about Clutch Powers? Out from behind a pile of fallen debris emerged the man himself, Clutch Powers completely unscathed. It almost seemed like he was radiating golden light, probably because he was holding a golden-tinted flashlight directly at the camera. After 23.5 seconds of standing there looking off into the distance stoically, he spoke.
No! Clutch Powers! Rest your pristine voice, my lord. Feed on my soul if you do, please.
But I want to hear what he sounds like.
We couldn't possibly get his voice actor to come in, though, and we couldn't possibly replicate such a unique, beautiful voice.
You know what? You're right. He shall remain unspeaking for the rest of the series.
I have awoken from my explosion-induced slumber.
Cool McRaddington, you're awake?
Indeed, John. And I have just booked us a bus ticket back to Chester's house.
Oh, sick. But wait, should we do something about the moon we just vaporized?
Already covered. I had my many evil minions, which just recently converted to my many good-willed goons, fly to Jupiter and take one of its moons to bring it back here.
So you stole a moon from Jupiter?
Jupiter's not gonna miss it.
Oh, look, there's the bus.
Let's get on it. So me, Chester, Cool McRaddington, and Clutch Powers himself boarded the bus back to Chester's place, and we all lived happily ever after. The end.
Whoa. Excuse me? There's a whole other section left.
But that's a pretty good ending.
It's kind of not, though.
Okay, fine. After we all arrived back at Chester's place, we were greeted by Mr. Jurgen von Jurgenberger.
Hey, Jon and Chester. I see you found my son. And who is this cool-looking lad?
Greetings.
Oh, that's Cool McRaddington. He's been on the podcast since episode 1.
Yes, very cool. Anyways, what now?
Well, I was thinking we could have a celebratory party, perhaps?
That's a great idea, Cool McRaddington. So we all set up a party and invited every character from the whole podcast, even the villains.
Everybody was there, like the cult interviewer, the lazy-ass Sphinx, that random cowboy man, all of the Pegasi, the bagpipe-wielding ghosts of the 10,000 Scottish people. Sorry for killing you guys, by the way. Goddamn Jahan. Gene, who had created makeshift bombs to explode his way out of hell. Johnny Crimpy Gimpy Gerpy Geepy, and an actor he hired to be his alter ego, Chuck, those French fighter jet pilots, a few little pickle men, and the Pickle King himself. John's mom's headstone was transported to us so she could be here in spirit. Johann Johannesburg, the Canadian border guard, Michi Kakatulu, that stupid German man from Switzerland, General Beanster's heckler, who received the Best Heckler Award for best heckling, that one pistachio guy, the devil. Jesus was there, but he got super drunk on absinthe and passed out at the shrimp cocktail bar. Jesus' goon, Angel Gabriel, the Chipotle burrito, who had recently gotten out of surgery to reassemble himself, Mr. Jurgen von Jurgenberger, that guy in a lab coat, all of the residents of Clutchville. There was a candlelight vigil for Sir Not About to Get Murdered, suspects number 1 through 4, Captain What's-His-Face, who didn't actually appear in the series, but was invited nonetheless, Dan the Man, the fancy British chap, Carl the front desk worker, the real-life Jon and Chester, Larry and his boring son Bruce, the person who voiced the bomb countdown, I think it was John? And finally, Mr. God himself.
Wow, Chester, that was quite in the mouthful.
It sure was.
Do you need a napkin to spit out some of that mouthful, make it more palatable?
Wait, what's a napkin again? I just recently had selective napkin-related amnesia 3.574 seconds ago.
Well, Chester, a napkin is most commonly a square piece of cloth that serves both wiping and holding purposes. This word is derived from the Old English word napakin, which in turn is derived from the Old French word nappe. The napkin is the equivalent of the British handkerchief, or the Scottish kerchief. Napkins are conventionally folded in order to compress their size. Additionally, the napkin dates back to the 14th century, and while the napkin is now made of cloth, some accounts say that the ancient Greeks used bread to wipe their hands. Additionally, did you know that the napkin may be short for sanitary napkin? How odd. One common napkin myth is that Leonardo da Vinci invented the napkin. This is false, and this myth stems from a book published by 2 British writers as an April Fool's Day prank. Anyways, Chester, that is what a napkin is.
You just had to get the last mouthful in, didn't you?
I really did.
Anyways, we were partying and all that, but then I had an epiphany of oddly out-of-place infatuation. I ran over to the nearest Long John Silver's and purchased a single hush puppy. Then I ran to the nearest Long John Silver's ring-based attire branch and purchased a single piece of ring-based attire, namely, a ring. Then I ran back to the party and asked the random hush puppy a very important question. Hush puppy I just got from Long John Silver's?
Hush puppy!
Hush puppy, will you marry me?
Hush puppy!
So anyways, I used my one very specific superpower to transform the sick Rager into a pristine wedding location located in a nice botanical garden in a part of LA that was near Malibu. Not in Malibu, but near it. It was also Christmas Day, just to make things even more cheesy. I wonder who will officiate this wedding. Well, just before my hush puppy fiancé got bored and left, Mr. God himself walked up on stage.
Hello, party people. It is I, Mr. God. First of all, I would like to take a moment to apologize for my son. He is a f***ing piece of shit. Next, I would like to say, we are gathered here today to celebrate the holy matrimony of Chester Westerminsterberry and his wife, Hush S. Puppy III. Now, Chester, do you swear by me to always look after your wife?
Probably.
And Hush Puppy, do you promise to always care for your husband, Mr. Chester? Hush Puppy! Well, in that case, if there are no objections...
I object!
John, what you doing?
Chester, while it would be super cool to see a bro get hitched, I worry about our relationship. If you get married, how will we go on to search for more obscure animated children's movie characters who have gone missing, only to create a podcast about said experience in part real-time, part retrospect?
That does seem to be a somewhat logical concern.
Please, Chester, for the sake of our broship, call off this wedding!
Well, John, this is completely improper, and it is somewhat rude that you would tell a bro to call off his wedding like that, so there is only one thing that can be done. The wedding's called off.
I ran up to Chester, who is currently in the process of eating the hush puppy.
This isn't messed up if you don't think about it.
And together, we did an epic handshake, completely improvised on the spot, as a symbol of our friendship.
Hey, Mr. God, can you do us a favor?
Sure, what is it, Chester?
Summon us a TV.
And suddenly, a TV set appeared in front of us. Now, I think we all remember the day we realized that 2010 animated LEGO spy thriller, Clutch Powers, was reintroduced into our lives. For me at least, I was at an epic party, surrounded by all of my favorite people in the world.
However, for me, I was also at the same party. Mr. God turned on the TV and said he added something special to it. We looked and saw that Clutch Powers was on YouTube for $3.99. Mr. God had added it to YouTube for us. After that, me, John, Cool McReddington, Mr. Jurgen von Jurgenberger, along with every single other character from the whole podcast, as well as the man himself, sat down on the couch, rented the movie, and watched Clutch Powers. It was only alright.
Yeah, not as good as I remember.